To the naked eye, Daniel Ricciardo poaching the fastest laps in the ending moments of the Singapore Grand Prix seems like a proper on-track send-off to one, if not the most beloved characters of the sport. But for McLaren's Lando Norris, who needs every single point he can get, this raised an eyebrow. So was VCARB coerced by its sister team Red Bull to poach a point from Lando Norris to aid Max Verstappen's chances. All that in today's video. McLaren's team boss, Andrea Stella, has raised concerns about the relationship between Red Bull and its sister team after Daniel Ricciardo's unexpected fastest lap at the Singapore Grand Prix cost Lando Norris a crucial point. With McLaren dominating at Marina Bay, Norris was poised to cut 8 points from Max Verstappen's championship lead after setting the fastest lap on lap 48. However, Ricciardo, running at the back and possibly in his final F1 race, pitted for fresh soft tyres and beat Norris's time by nearly half a second on his last lap. Although Ricciardo didn't earn a point since he finished outside the top 10, every point matters as Norris tries to close the 52-point gap to Verstappen with 6 races remaining. Stella suggested that a deeper discussion about the close ties between Red Bull and its sister team might be necessary, though he stopped short of accusing them of collusion. This is a big matter. You know, as soon as you invoke the sportsmanship, I think you need to approach this with a sense of responsibility that I want to have, he said when asked about the call. I don't know the facts. I just saw that RB went for the fastest lap, and they achieved it. But for me here, talk about sportsmanship and so on, I think it would be out of place. So I think we have to take it at face value. They scored the fastest lap, and potentially as part of a longer-term conversation, we need to put the sport in a position in which at any stage, being it trackside or being it factory side, teams behave in a totally autonomous manner. Because this is a Constructors' Championship, this needs to be definitely addressed. But at no point I have elements now to say RB went for the fastest lap to support the Red Bull. I just find it a little, peculiar. I did not see it coming. I was a little surprised that the highest priority of RB racing in Singapore was to go and score the fastest lap of the race. I think we just have to work harder to make sure that this championship doesn't come down to a point. At the same time, I have so much sympathy, support and friendship with Daniel that I'm just happy that he may add this fastest lap to his track record. From Norris's side, he regarded the move as smart play in securing the fastest lap for his former teammate, admitting that it was the logical thing to do. On Red Bull's side, team boss Christian Horner refused to be sucked into the politics of the situation and said that it was up to RB to explain their reasoning. He did, although, reveal that the team was considering pitting his teammate Sergio Perez to get the fastest lap. I don't know what happened there. I think the team was discussing it, so I think in the end we decided to stay as it was decided anyway. I think the team was thinking about it, but in the end it didn't happen, he concluded. In light of the ongoing speculation regarding their motive for pitting Daniel Ricciardo in the last few laps of the race in Singapore, VCARB team boss Laurent Mekies has spoken out about their impromptu decision. You have to give credit to the guy. Daniel had a crazy weekend to go through. I don't think I saw him once, in any moment of the race weekend, losing 1 ounce of professionalism in or out of the car. Even though the pressure was becoming higher and higher and higher. The guy does all the Singapore race at the back, fighting every lap, putting some good laps in and is unable to pass. We just thought it was the right thing to do, to give him that chance in the context in which the weekend had been. It's as simple as giving the guy a chance in what has been a crazy weekend. It's like, give him a break. Give him a chance to post a good lap and finish on a high. This ongoing discussion has spilled out of the Red Bull and McLaren garages, with Toto Wolff giving his 2 cents regarding the situation. According to Toto, I think you have to probably play all strategies. I don't think it was a dirty play, not at all. It was within the regulations. Their drivers were not unfair with each other. It's safe to say that whether or not VCARB was coerced by their sister team to help Verstappen's chances isn't what every F1 fan wants to know right now. What everyone wants to know is, was that Daniel Ricciardo's last time in a Formula One car? Well, according to the big bosses at Red Bull, i.e. Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, the team will be utilising the upcoming autumn break to ponder on their next move. In Horner's words, "We've now got a period of time where we'll evaluate all of the relative performances of all of the drivers. It's a natural break in the season to reflect on that. There's a bigger picture obviously beyond Daniel, so he's just one part of the jigsaw. I think that we know Daniel very well, we know what he's capable of, how he drives a car, so we have that knowledge. And Marco said, "We'll make the decision after Singapore. I can't confirm anything officially yet." Coming into the Singapore Grand Prix, Daniel fought through a storm of speculation and rumours that this would be his final race in Formula One. And after the checkered flag fell in Singapore, the Honey Badger had several emotional interviews, one with Sports Illustrated, where he said, "I also have to acknowledge why I came back after the McLaren stint. I always said I don't want to come back just to be on the grid. I want to try and fight back at the front and get back with Red Bull. Obviously it didn't come to fruition, so then I also have to ask myself the question, well then what else can I achieve and what else us there to really go for? I put my best foot forward, let's say the fairy tale ending didn't happen, but I also have to look back on what it's been. 13 or so years and I'm proud. Typically, the driver of the day is not something us drivers look too much into, but today I can say it's something I'm appreciative of. That one today means a little something. It's been a day and a half now since the Singapore Grand Prix weekend, and we still don't have any news about Daniel's future. But at the Marina Bay circuit, hints of his exit were plentiful. V-Carb formed a guard of honour when Daniel was entering the team's hospitality. His close friend Natalie Pinkham labelled him as the driver of the decade on social media, before Daniel was the last of the drivers to leave the paddock, reportedly hugging anyone and everyone before finally making his exit. Former champion, now pundit at Sky Sports F1, Nico Rosberg believes that the Honey Badger has not made enough of a case for himself to secure a spot on the grid. It's a real pity, isn't it? Daniel is so loved. He's such a fantastic driver, but he just hasn't shown quite enough this year, unfortunately. Despite Red Bull's hopes that Daniel Ricciardo would lead the team and potentially replace Sergio Perez, Ricciardo has only managed to score 12 points this season compared to Yuki Tsunoda's 22. Now, it seems Ricciardo is the one losing his race seat. However, Martin Brundle has mentioned that Ricciardo will still remain part of the Red Bull family. My understanding is that Liam Lawson will be in that car in Austin, but that Daniel Ricciardo stays in the pool of Red Bull drivers for options going forward into maybe later this year, but into 2025, Brundle said. Brundle believes that Red Bull must take the unique opportunity they have with Lawson to provide Verstappen with some backup in the championship fight. Christian Horner said last night, "We want to see how good he is. I mean, he looked very good last year when he was super sub, and they need some options, going forward as only Verstappen is really delivering. They've got their own junior team on the grid, they may as well use that Red Bull uniquely for them, and only Verstappen is really delivering." So do you think Red Bull had anything to do with Daniel pitting so late in the race? Let's talk about it down below. And consider subscribing if you haven't. That is all for today, so thanks for watching.